The more I looked at the size of this downstairs bedroom, the more I realized I had to move the wall back. I had about an extra 14 inches that I could work into the pantry before the pantry got too small. After talking with Cedar, we decided that the use of the utility room can also double as a pantry, so I wanted to make this downstairs bedroom just a little bit bigger. Because everything was screwed together with deck screws, it really didn't take much to get it done. All in all, it might have taken me about 45 minutes to do this. I don't pretend to be an expert in anything other than maybe hard work. I like to think that I know my way around plumbing, but the truth is even new construction plumbing is significantly different than service plumbing. When I had my company, we did quite a bit of new construction, but the truth is I always had guys that worked for me that did it. I didn't do as much of it myself, which means I don't know new construction as well as I know service plumbing. New construction was always monotonous to me. It didn't require as much troubleshooting and as much thinking. With service plumbing comes interacting with people more. With service plumbing also comes the ability to think outside of the box sometimes. Oftentimes, new construction plumbers thought they could transition to service work, and later these new construction plumbers found the transition to be quite difficult. I made a couple of minor mistakes that I need to fix with the plumbing before I can call for the plumbing inspection. But when it comes to electrical, I find myself overthinking, overanalyzing, wondering if I've got it done right. Stringing together a bunch of outlets is one thing. Wiring up switches in multiple locations worries me. I want to make sure I do this right. I'm probably dragging this out longer than I need to. I've gone over every part of the house probably 3 times now as far as the electrical is concerned, making sure that once the inspector gets up here, we don't have any hiccups. Truth is, I'll probably still have hiccups. It's just how it goes. One added benefit I seem to have with these inspectors is they don't want to come up here any more than they have to, but they also want to make sure the job's done right. Because we are 100% off-grid and the house is 100% solar, we do not have any 220 volt wire in the house. The heaviest wire that I have is what's called 12-2 wire. I ran all the outlets on 12-2 wire, and everything else for the most part is what's called 14-2 or 14-3 wire. It's really not a complicated house. I called my friend the local county building inspector last week and asked him if he knew what kind of shutoff that the state inspector would want to see with the solar. He didn't know what the inspector wanted. To his knowledge, there's not one 100% off-grid home in the entire county that's being lived in full-time. By code, I have to have an accessible shutoff on the outside of the house, but there's no meter box on the outside of the house. I'll never have a meter box on this house. Even if they brought power up the road at some point down the line, I still would choose to stay completely off-grid. It might take us some time to figure this out. I'm quite certain we're going to have to supplement with wind generators, and we will probably have to have a backup generator on top of that. But once we figure out how to live independent of the power grid, I don't have any interest in going back to it. I'm now just about ready for inspection. I still haven't determined for certain which shutoff they want on the outside of the house, but I should know that by the beginning of next week. I feel like I'm in the final stretches of dealing with the electric, but I want to make sure that everything's going to be fine. I put an exterior outlet on each side of the house, all the way around the house. I probably put more outlets on the inside of the house than necessary. But last time I checked, my wife or kids have never complained to me because the house had too many outlets. It was always just the opposite. I've got to stop overthinking the electrical and just get it done. Out of all the different things that I've learned along this journey, the electrical has definitely been something that I've wanted to get more comfortable with. But that being said, I can't wait to be done with this. As far as understanding and the simple ability of wrapping my brain around what I'm doing, electrical is the single phase of construction that I've struggled with the most. Everything else is fairly linear to me. Everything else is something that I can write out on paper and understand. Electrical, like plumbing, requires a lot more thinking. Requires a lot more understanding of codes. I'm sure an electrician would tell me how simple it is. The day that I power up the house through the inverter, and I know for a fact that everything's good and all of the lights work, and all the switches work and everything is working the way it's supposed to be, I will most definitely breathe a sigh of relief. The downstairs electrical is basically done. I just had the thought as I was locking up the front door that it would be nice to have a plug right by the back door, so I think I'll add that Monday. I'm gonna have my friend Luke come up and just kind of look at the switches. The one thing that I'm not horribly comfortable prepping for inspection is the switches. I don't know how many grounds I can connect in one box. I'm about to go to dinner with him here in a little bit, with him and his wife, and so I'll probably pick his brain at dinner, but I'm gonna have him come up and look it over on Monday. And then plumbing, and I will have plumbing done by the end of the week. There's really not much to change with plumbing. I have to add a hard water line at the kitchen sink and a couple other minor things. I don't think the plumbing's going to take me but a day or two, and then we're basically, I do have to put it under test, which means I've got to put a test ball out here in the clean out, fill everything up with water, pump up the gas line, pump up the water lines, and then call for inspection. Probably by the end of the next week I'll be done with everything plumbing related, and hopefully the weather doesn't go to heck and cause the road to be such a mess where it's going to complicate getting the inspectors up here. I think I can, if I have to put them in my own truck, I'll bring them up here, but we're supposed to get the next 3 days of snow, but it's warm. It's real warm right now. It's over 40 degrees outside right now, and everything's melting. Everything is turning into just slushy, nasty, muddy, whatever. And on the one hand, I'm ready for the snow to go away, but on the other hand, there's about a month of just crappy conditions with the mud and stuff. So anyway, I think we're a little bit early still. I think we've got time for a couple more snowstorms before winter is officially gone. We've had snow as late as May, but usually it dries out and everything starts growing before then. So anyway, I'm looking forward to spring and definitely summer. So I'm most looking forward to getting the electrical and the plumbing done this next week.